Intro. What I plan to cover throughout this review is the different types of features that a first-person shooter tends to have. I'm going to start off by saying what a first-person is. A first-person shooter is where you experience through the eyes of the character you are playing as. An example of a first-person shooter or FPS is Doom. Doom is and puts you in the eyes of a space marine who happens to has been given a mission to take back space base. The review will also cover what I plan to cover and my expectations whilst playing Doom. What I plan to cover is gameplay, heads-up display, level design, sound, and graphics. My expectations for Doom are quite limited in the sense of the Doom I've played is a Flash game, so I hope to make recommendations if they make a remastered or remake Doom to give them advice and tips in what areas they can improve on when they complete the remake. Gameplay. What I've noticed is several things that come under gameplay that I have personally identified as areas that can be improved or that are already good. I'm going to start off with the objective of the game. This one's a strange one. There's no real objective to the game. There's no signs, there's no real direction that the game is making you go in. What I feel like this does is it allows the user to explore the level fully. I feel like the game developers, from a standpoint, almost don't want to hold your hand and guide you through to fully explore the game, to fully pick up the aspects of Doom. Makes you fully explore to understand the story of Doom. However, the downside to this is that some players might not want to explore, they might just want to get to the end and practically speed run through the game. So for those players, as an area for improvement, they could put signs or little faint writing on the wall or something that stands out to guide players, because some people may not want to spend 20 minutes on a level, so it allows them to get through the level a lot quicker. This also comes into play with there's no backstory, there's no actual story. They put you in an open room and made you start with no direction. Easy access. This allows you to get straight into the game. This is a credit to Doom because you're not sitting there for 5 seconds, 10 seconds waiting for the game to start. It's straight in and you're straight to the first room and allowed to play. Another side to this is it's easy to find on Google. It's one of the top rated website links. Then it's the menus itself from Doom. So there's a range of different tabs you can go into. One of this is the options tab, where you can change your mouse sensitivity to how you as a player would want to feel and move. The look sensitivity as well. So when you rotate the camera, how fast that will. There's the difficulty settings ranging from I'm too young to nightmare. I'll start off with I'm too young. I'm too young. What this difficulty setting means is it's the easiest one there is on Doom. What it means is, from my point of view at least, it allows the player to explore the game easier because you don't face enemies. Then there's Hey Too Rough. Difficulty setting means is you will find very little enemies, however it's still very explorable. You can run around and try and find the story behind Doom. Then there's Hurt Me Plenty. This one's probably what we now class as a normal difficulty setting. What this means is you'll find a lot more enemies than you would from I'm Too Young, Hey Not Too Rough. Hurt Me Plenty is the difficulty setting that you will find more enemies in each room progressively, but it's still helping you to learn the game and explore the secret areas and other things. And this is where it gets hard. Ultra Violent is what we now class as the hardest setting. This is where you will find the biggest jump from I'm Too Young to Hurt Me Plenty. This jump will put a lot more enemies in each room. You won't have the freedom to explore without getting shot or being under fire from enemies. And then there's Nightmare. Some modern games have this hardest difficulty setting. I know the Call of Duty franchise tends to have Veteran, which is their equivalent of Nightmare in Doom. However, in Doom, Nightmare is very hard to play. The easiest way I feel to play Nightmare is to definitely play I'm Too Young first, in the sense of it allows you to explore different rooms, find secrets, find different types of weapons. This gives advantage to the player because the player now knows that I can find this weapon here, I can find this weapon there. However, Nightmare, it makes you aware before you start playing that you will die very quickly and a lot throughout the game. What also happens is the enemies get stronger, your life disappears a lot quicker. Also, the reason why I feel like Doom has done this is to make it relevant to that time period where there wasn't. It makes it more relevant and more gripping to have these types of phrases rather than easy, normal, medium, and hard. Finally, the last point I'm going to cover for gameplay is there's a secret level in Doom. The only way you can get to the secret level, however, is by using cheats. There's going to be a list of cheats on screen now that show different power-ups and different abilities you can use whilst playing Doom. The secret level is fun and enjoyable. What it does is still lets players use the cheats that are available in the main game. There's a box in the middle of the map with a load of enemies that keep respawning. An area that I think you can improve for the secret levels are maybe not have the cheats to work, so players have to survive in the secret areas on 100% health and 100% armor, but still have loads of different pickups for ammo and health along with armor. This way it would keep balance to the game and still hopefully keep the secret levels enjoyable. And then this got me thinking about the cheats. Without the cheats, would the game be fun? It probably wouldn't be fun, because without the cheats, I think Doom's replay ability could suffer hugely. Graphic. This is also a area that game developers tend to focus on also because it keeps players immersed and tends to be one of the most talked about areas in game development. So what does this mean for Doom? The characters and design and animation are a little lackluster. I know it's a Flash game, but they're still lackluster. I'll start off with the characters, models, and designs. The character designs are quite simple, but very poorly done. The reason for this being is that the human enemies are all in the same clothes. You can clearly see that it's been copied and pasted over to every enemy, every human enemy. The only difference between the aliens, as I'm going to class them as, they have different enemies. So the common one tends to be a dark brown and an enemy that fires a rocket launcher. Then there's Red Hellhound. This one is very different to the first one. And then there's Invisible Alien Enemy. This one, to represent its invisibility, has very grained type features. It's invisible because it has a black and grey bar where the enemy is standing. Moving on to the environment. The environment itself, I feel, was very well done. The reason why this is because if it wasn't, yet again, I don't think I'd play Doom long enough to enjoy the features of the game. The environment was done well because the walls were worn. You can see that there was a fight taking place. You can see that it's not human based because there's screens, there's strange writing on the walls. Things like that really help a player keep playing their game. Then there's the world design graphic. This one you won't stare at for long, but it's still significant for the amount of time you play Doom. The reason why this is a point, I think it can be improved by making the colours stand out more rather than just the same paled grey and browns for the mountains. So hopefully they remaster that because it would help the player feel they're playing and that they are on Mars. And then finally there's barrels. This one's a strange one. Doom was classed as the first 3D first-person shooter game on the market. However, because the game was created in 1993, the consistency of 3D objects was lacking. They've classed it as a 3D game, but the barrels, for example, are 2D. What this means is that you can't through, or for example, in the first room there is a barrel that just so happens to move when you move. What I mean by this is you come to face the barrel. There's a big enough gap for your character to get through. However, you are stopped from moving past that barrel on that side. You have to walk around the barrel. What this does is really makes you question why is it classed as a 3D game when not all the objects are 3D. However, what I think they can do to improve this is they can just make all the objects 3D, give a sense of realism to the player. It would help hugely. But no, barrels themselves I think could just be made 3D. It would allow the players to have a sense of if they could jump over that barrel or walk past a certain gap. 1, 2, 1, 2. Level design. Level design is arguably one of the most important aspects of a game. The reason why I feel like this is a key element to a game is because without the level being easy to understand and easy to play, it really affects all the other aspects of the game. So, level design. The way Doom has presented and makes you aware that you're not on Earth is because of the style of the rooms you're in, along with the open spaces, the looks of the characters and enemies, and the background that you see on a lot of, especially on the first level. Sound. Sound is one of the most underrated things there is in a game. Arguably one of the most important things that game developers tend to go and explore the most. Conclusion. So, we've reached the end of the game review, so you're probably wondering what my conclusion is now. So, I'm going to just sum up my experience of Doom and the reasons why I picked Doom to review. So, overall, my experience was I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think, even though it's a very old game, I feel like it's still worth playing, and it's just very, very enjoyable from how easy it is to play it to